Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2 with the fastest Terran out there. In the red, it's Team Liquid's Clem. Up against the player ranked #1 in the world by Dark. Even showing off his portrait there next to the hatchery. We have the final boss. It's Dark. A best of 5 Terran versus Zerg showdown. And once again, these two facing off. Clem here to educate Maru on how to actually beat Dark, as he's beat him reliably the last couple times they've faced. But whether you want to see the final boss get some revenge or Clem continue to infuriate Zergs across the world, it'd be awesome if before we get started, you could like and maybe even subscribe. And Jimmy, what are we? 1,375 likes on this video. On this, nobody cares about the Reaper. On this cast, and I'll cast another one. And I'll probably do it anyways. I don't know what else I would do with my life without these two in it. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far. And it's Clem versus Dark, so I'm going to boldly say it's about to get a little bit better. And apparently Clem is in Korea right now, though I'm not sure why. So for the first time in quite a while, oh my god. What a save! He saves the SCV. Oh, but wait, Dark comes in with the finisher. And Dark gets the last laugh for now, though the Reaper will be chasing down those murderous Zerglings. You could already see, with Clem blocking the third base, Dark taking offense to that, hunting down the SCV on the other side. So overall, oh, but wait, they're in the trees. Oh, and speed is done. Oh my god. Here come the Hellions. No, you don't get a moment to breathe. No, I'm going to try to find one, because otherwise I'm not going to have the stamina for a match of this magnitude. Okay. Well, we're not calming down. In fact, we're ramping up as the Banshee with Cloak is on the way. So we were getting to Clem's apparently in Korea. So this is the Korean StarCraft 2 League. Check out Patreon. Thank you for those of you who support it and put on these great tournaments, essentially the Dark Showcase. But one of the first times in quite a while that they're playing without any sort of ping differential from Europe to Korea, which is sometimes quite significant. So we expect the best of the best from these two. And who does low ping benefit more? I mean, your instinct is Clem, but Dark being able to react on a dime. Those queens, well, they got a lot of inertia, is one way we'll put it. But at third base, just now starting. Clem getting real aggressive to kick things off. And you can tell he's on a different account. He's just got an undercase name. Just Clem. No Liquid, no nothing, just Clem. Had to put that profile name in before he started the match. Hellions, though, darting by. Zergling speed is already done, but the Zerglings are headed to the other side of the map while the Queens are boxing out the Hellions. Banshee ready to come in, but Dark, is that? I don't think that's a wall. But I would be wrong. The command center, though, the Hellions on the wrong side of history. The Banshee, though, very much on the right one. And there's no Spore Crawler. Getting through the third command center. Cancels at the last moment. There's not much back at home to defend. The Banshee's about to pop out, but the Hellions are getting into the natural. As things are getting hot. Brenda, oh no! You were supposed to hold the door! Gee, wait. And that's it. And he's in the 430... That's his Korean account name. It's referencing the amount of ping he gets when he usually plays against Korea. But apparently, well, obviously not relevant here, as Clem just drives right in and picks up game 1 with ease. Dark tried some cute counterattacks, and Clem went with the go fucking kill him strategy. An absolute classic tactic. Well, that sets the tone, I think. 1-0 Clem. Kind of got whiplash. I wasn't even done introducing them, like the long-winded filler introduction, but that brings us to game 2 on Alcyone. Okay. Yeah, Dark tapped out before the Hellions could even start roasting the drones, because he was so far out of position. He might as well have been on another map. A handful of Zerglings with a Banshee already back at home to defend are not going to do remotely close, not even in the same like level of magnitude as much damage as those Hellions and the Banshee. He just didn't anticipate kind of the delayed Cloak Banshee. Clem went with the Starport before third base. He went with the late third command center, as you saw, a very relevant part. And didn't actually end up getting that third command center, but it held the line long enough for Clem to get the damage done on the other side. God. Every single unit was used in the early game there to such dramatic effect. It looks like we're calming down just a bit. Actually, no, we're just not as far into the game here in Game 2. Overlord hanging out, which is, that's really all the options for it. It's a glorified hot air balloon. Not even really glorified, just tentacled, which I'm not here to judge, so. Spawning pool on the way. There will be gas from Dark, so he's not doing that quick 3. I don't think you can get away with the gasless 3 hedge. He tried the Zergling speed. It still didn't work out, but not having Zergling speed at all will just set you up to get burned out again. I am highly amused that Clem's clan tag is 430 MS. Is it that bad? There's no way it's that bad. It's possible. I know, usually when Europe and Korea face, they agree to split the difference and play on North America, where they both have like 200 ping. I don't think it's a fun thing to be pointing out all the time and making excuses for, though, so that's why we usually don't mention it too much. Though occasionally some tournaments will force them to kind of like switch servers back and forth, but I think usually the players agree to meet in the middle. But in this case, not that relevant since Clem is in Korea. I wonder if he's staying somewhere. I don't know. I'm sure we'll get announcements soon. I'm actually surprisingly enthusiastic about traveling, which I can't relate. I like to travel to different servers when they host tournaments, and that's about it. He's actually lifting the racks in order to kill the Overlord. He knows, I think a lot of this... Young man, sir! So where... The Reaper gets by, and he's forced to double extractor dodge. As they say, the dead strategy. Otherwise, those drones will be. Against Dark, Clem going for these early tech plays, not rushing a third command center. He's not giving Dark the opportunity to do what he does best, which is find a timing to just kill you. Because every Terran, and probably their mother as well, I mean, who trained him, goes for the third command center right off the bat. Maru does it effectively every game. Clem does it like 90%. But a marked difference here, as Clem, again, just skips the third command center to go for a quicker starport and opts for the Liberator. So the Liberator, less deadly than a Cloak Banshee, but also much easier to get to quickly. Queens will politely yet firmly encourage the Hellions to back off. Not that it's been particularly well received thus far, but what can you do? Third command center. Clem slapping it down at the natural wall again. But Dark does not have enough lings to go for some crazy counter. In fact, his lings are getting hunted down by the Hellions. Wow. Okay. No mercy and no survivors. No witnesses. The Hellions taking out the lings. Liberator looking for an opportunity. Yeah, but the Spore Crawlers are in position to help deal with it. Spore at the third base. Not quite done yet, though. Queens moving into position. One. This is private property. Spore's done. It is in position to get some damage. He's not going to fall for it again. The Queens are in position to box out the Hellions. And without the Cloak Banshee, Clem doesn't really have that kicker that can do deadly damage. No, no, no. Oh my god, he is merciless. Keeping the Queens very busy. Third command center will be finishing, but when you don't have the third command center as quickly, I know this is going to sound obvious, but you don't have the SCVs, you don't have the orbital, it does cut into that mid-game economy. It's going to be a little bit harder for Clem to get up to the 5 racks timing, to really have a follow-up pressure. So even though Dark, well, now he's starting to explode in the drone count, but check out my drone link here. But he will have plenty of time to get to... Well, he didn't start layer yet. He just started the upgrades. About 30 seconds behind Clem. But he's going to have the economy. The Liberator showing off that it very technically has an anti-air attack. Gone are the good old days when you could just wipe out everything in the air with Liberators and then siege up and wipe out everything on the ground. Now that's the ghost job. Meanwhile, more barracks on the way. Clem locking down the third. Dark, not a huge drone count. He's anticipating. I think his timings are... You know what? He knows better than me. He's baking more and more lings. He's obviously anticipating this particular time. Kind of surprised that Clem's moving out. He does have 2 medevacs, and he does have stim, but his upgrades are a long way off. The Zergling will see it. There are 2 siege tanks, and with no upgrades, that is an existential threat to the non-speed mains, which don't even exist yet, as well as the Zerglings. The Queens hold together. 1 gun down. And jammed into the corner. Back against the wall, those siege tanks trying to concentrate their fire. Dark supply blocked at a very inopportune timing, but he's got so many Zerglings. He's been building them for quite a while. The Hellions, no armory there for Hellbats, drops to the other side, but Dark crushes the attack. The Queens drive the tanks away, almost take down the medevacs, but don't quite get enough knitting needles to puncture it in time. But the rocks, the mineral wall, sorry, has been taken down. The drones doing... the work there, and making sure that Clem won't have an opportunity to pressure the 4th easily. Baneling speed begins. And Clem, that is why I was a little surprised to see him moving out. Because without the upgrade advantage, or at least that 1-1 done, it's a lot harder to dictate the pace of the fight. And now he has the upgrade advantage, but he can't capitalize on it before Dark's going to have all his upgrades finished up as well. And obviously there's plenty of Zerglings on the field. And they've got a bone or several dozen to pick with those medevacs. Locked onto it, chasing it down, really wishing those wings weren't vestigial. But the Marines starting to gather in numbers without any banelings. The DPS density of those Marines is too damn high. And now Drilling Claws is on the way. It's going to be Widow Mines. That he tried the tanks, didn't like it. Mouthfeel, not great, but... Now, we're gonna throw some Widow Mines into the mix. Hellbats as well. I think a few of them were able to retreat from the initial attack. Just 1 siege tank left over. Baneling targeted. Bane speed about to be completed. Still gonna be about a 30-second upgrade advantage with 2-2, but that's a long way off. Baneling speed finishes. He tries to roll them in because they were gonna die anyways. Supplies are dead even at 155 apiece, though Clem does start another one. A single Marine, but there's not much besides a Liberator to defend. That's not going to intimidate Dark, but the Marines and the Widowmine will. Meanwhile, attack up to the north side. Banelings rolling into the center mass, and Clem still has plenty of Marines left over, despite obviously looking the other way. Though at the same time, Lings and Banes overrunning the third. Both sides going to be taking economic hits. We'll have to see who rises from the ashes with an advantage. Takes out the Widowmine, but the Liberator will eventually poke down all the Zerglings. Attack will continue. Dark down to 4 bases. Clem trying to take his 4, though just lost some SCVs. The Hydra count transfuses come through. There is no upgrade advantage, so Clem not able to fight this particularly easily. Hydra's ping cushion the tank. Down it goes, and the medevacs are forced to retreat. Is there an infestation pit? No. That means Dark is locked into this Hydraling Bane composition, which can be good enough. But he needs to make good on it as soon as possible. It has an expiration date, for the most part, against a competent Terran who's able to micro. And Clem is the standard, all right, that we measure against. 2-2 done, but Dark right behind it. Infestation pit begins. Hydras, Lings, and Bane scattered throughout the field. Dark's done a good job of consolidating his forces, though he has to be very careful about the mines. Ooh, big hit. The mines forcing the respect. He only has 1 Overseer, though, and Drilling Claws is done, which means those mines remain cloaked unless you bring the detection. Ghost Academy's on the way, plus 3 infantry weapon starts immediately as Clem closes in on 200 supply. He's got his trademark M&M. We got Clem Shady here. With 3-3 on the way. A second Ghost Academy just finished. Lurker Den begins. So Clem angling for that late game army composition, as is Dark, with Hive Tech in production. Lurker Den on the way. Overlord speed critical for dealing with these mines. You cannot have the Overseers lagging behind. But you also don't want them too far in front. It's a bit of a dilemma. Zergling's trying to drag out. Oh my, actually manages to do so. Very brave, Zergling. Make sure to pat your emotional support Zergling today before sending it into Widow Mine Fire to protect yourself. Dragging out the mine hits. Actually does a great job of it, but there's another mine. Takes a big hit, but mostly Terrans. They don't discriminate. Clem, though, the DPS on those Marines and Marauders. There's so many of them. And even with this whole Hydraling Bane army, the Marauders out in front, looking to tank the Baneling hits. Baneling's rolling by, absorbing as much fire as possible, but the Medivacs are still intact. Retreats, another round of Banelings is on the way. Both these players are struggling to maintain their place on the field, but Dark gets enough done, and he's able to drive the army back for now. He desperately needs something. He's down 20 supply. Clem's working on his 5th base. He's been untouched at home since that attack at the 3rd. The Widow Mines scattered throughout the field. Gonna eat a couple more hits. The creep spread is passable, but only outside of Dark's bases. Clem hasn't been able to drive it back too far yet. Infestor is on the way, but once 3-3 is done, it's gonna get harder and harder to deal with this army. Ghosts are in production, despite the lack of anything for them to directly counter. They're never a bad choice, and that watchtower is an absolute choke point. And now, well, some of the Medifacts, Banelings rolled underneath. Widow Mines, he's using the Overseers of the Widow Mines. Probably the most, the strongest Zerg unit in this army composition. The Queens come up, and Clem ends up killing. Okay, he didn't do that much damage to himself, or at least he didn't outright kill it. But the Widow Mines are mostly diffused by the Overseers, which it's not cheap, but it is effective. And now dragging out more shots. Oh, big fungal on the Medivacs, forced to retreat. Otherwise, the Hydras are going to knock it out of the sky. Another set of Widow Mines. Big hits all over the Hydras, though. He doesn't have detection. Where are the Overseers? 4 more Overseers in production, but that will give Clem the time to rebuild. In that minefield, those Widow Mines, they might not be as sneaky or dramatic as they once were, but still very effective at delaying and stalling out the attack. With this many mines on the field, clearly a Minecraft enthusiast. It becomes more of Mine Comp for Dark so far. But Nidus is on the way. Adaptive Talons in production. The Lurker, Burrow Speed, thankfully able to take out some of these mines. Oh, and he grabs all of the Medivacs! They need someone to heal them, but only a couple are able to get away. And Dark taking out those Medivacs right as Clem wants to be transitioning. But at the same time, a Widow Mine drop kills a few drones. Going to keep the Queens busy, but they're going to clean it up back at home. More Widow Mines taken down. Clem backed up against his own multiple orbitals. And Dark is driven away for now. Oh, but Infestors! Oh no. The Infestors popped like overripe tomatoes. Hydra's on the high ground, though. There's only 2 Medivacs to heal these units. The stims are deadly. The Widow Mine still... He didn't clear the minefield. Or he did, and he just replaced it, but it looks very similar to what it once was. Dark down to 160 supply. Clem. What a game. These two battling it out. Dark has lost 5,000 more minerals, but about 1,000 less gas. 500 Zerglings dead, with no end in sight, as they both still have plenty of economy. They're both over 3,000 to 4,000 minerals a minute and around 1,000 gas. And you can afford a lot of units to replace the ones you're losing. Right now, there are 100 lings, 17 Widow Mines on the field. Just scattered throughout, not at any particular place besides wherever is most annoying and random, so that way Dark doesn't have an easy time of spotting them and dealing with them. Especially on creep, they're almost impossible to spot, so they start firing. But here come the Lurkers! Oh, massive hit. But the Lurkers dunk down right on top of the plant. No, you're not repairing that. Eviscerating the planetary and anything that desperately tries to repair behind. The ghosts are lining up their shots. The planetary, oh, no. Oh no! It's a disaster! For both sides! Dark is unable to kill the planetary, but the Zerglings are getting into the 3rd. They're in the main. They're in the natural. Dark is able to continue to dictate the pace. Why are you... He's Nidusing. It's a distraction Nidus. He's Nidusing his own base. I'm not 100% sure that was intentional, but he's going to hear the Nidus scream and anything to distract for a couple more seconds. Yeah, I don't know if you Nidus literally your own base. That has to be the weirdest misclick. 16 SCVs are dead. Clem, though, holds the line. He's still got 184 supply. That medevac targeted by the Queen. The Queen taken down. The Frenchmen guillotining them. Meanwhile, the Zerglings trying to overrun the Marines. A brave death, but a death nonetheless. Another base is coming up for the gold. Clem still has plenty, 6 orbitals, and multiple other command centers, planetaries, and soon-to-be planetaries. But Dark is not giving it up yet. Another lurker taken down. The medevacs are nearly out of energy. Does he have a Caduceus reactor? He's getting advanced ballistics off his fusion core right now. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh my god, that little mine. We just see the bloodbath that's left over as the Zerglings try to trickle through the watchtower. And everybody, calm down. Both sides retreat back to their corners. Dark, I think, slightly behind on momentum, and he doesn't have +3 melee attack nor +3 range, though he's working on the range. Clem has the upgrades. He's getting the building upgrades. So Clem has... He's building the Turtle Terran Deathball. The Porcupine Terran. That is so nearly impossible to break, but he's not there yet. He doesn't have the bank. He doesn't have all of the upgrades done yet. He doesn't have this perfect unit composition, though he's working his way there. He only has 2 Liberators, but he does have 14 Ghosts. There's a Nidus in the main. I don't know how he got vision there, but the most important part is it is there. Dropping some Changelings in order to try to block the Ghosts. The Ghosts, but the Overseers are on the way. The Ghosts are all overrun. Clem, a critical mistake, and the Ghosts will suffer for it. And the Lurkers into the main, the heart of the Terran base, and starting to rip through it, but the Ghosts are at a terrible angle. They're able to get their snipes off, but Dark just took out most of the Ghosts that were retreating back. There aren't enough Ghosts to dislodge the Oh my god! Eviscerating the rest of the Terran army. They go flying. 15 SCVs dead. The Viper was there for a moment. Overseers morphing on top of everything. The Ghosts will cloak, but they don't have enough energy left for snipe. Dark is down to 130 supply, but he's killing barracks of all things. The Lurkers move forward. A friend up! We've arrived! Wait, where is everybody? I don't... Oh, the Queen's come back for empty air! Dark brings in the knitting crew to try to sew this together. And with the Queens backing up the Lurkers, transfusing while they're under attack between the snipes. The Queens are out of energy. The Ghosts not quite yet, but they may have bought the time they needed. The Concave is good. The snipes are good. He's gonna retreat in a few survivors. Orbitals are dying. Those aren't fewer Marines. The Changelings may have convinced Clem that he had more Marines than he did. He actually killed an orbital. But Dark ends the battle down 30 supply. But how many barracks does it... Clem is down to 3 barracks, 2 factories, and 2 starports. He can't spend his money. He has to rebuild the army, and this is the only thing that could give Dark the ability to climb back into this game. The foothold, the toehold, the claw hold that he carved out of the production. It's a limited time, but it is something. Oh no, the Widowmine. Oh, he's able to deal with it. The Widowmine's still finding so much success. Dark has done so much, but is it enough? 66 workers apiece. They still have plenty of economy. Dark has been struggling with production. The bases, the main base, the natural mining out. Clem forgot high-sec auto-tracking. I don't know if he didn't queue it up at the time. He does have building armor. But again, we go back to our corners. Wait! Oh my god, there was a dark part of his base, and now there's dark all over the base as the Lurkers come in again. They're on top of the ramp. The Liberators will siege. There's no anti-air with this, awkwardly. He's gonna retreat back, mostly into the Nidus, popping out a few more. A bit of an awkward engagement there, but working on the lurkers on the low ground. Dark has caught up. He's closed the supply gap. And another Nidus. He's just keeping the pressure on Clem, and Clem has not been able to, ever since he cut down the ghost count to near nothing. 24 ghosts killed. There's 9 on the field. Clem has rebuilt his production, but Dark consolidated his forces in that time. He bought himself the space he needed. And now he's working with it. A single Whittle Mine scampering into the base. And, I mean, he's going to get the Spore Spine. The Liberators are so tough to deal with. Lining up the snipes. He's just going to get on top of the Ghosts. But there's not enough splash damage there to stop him. Lining up another set of snipes. But the Nidus Lurkers burrowing in. But Clem is consolidating his defenses. It's so hard to deal with this. And that's it. Clem holds the line. Dark, with one of the most strenuous and exhaustive attacks, but runs out of steam before Clem actually breaks to it. So, that's 2-0 for Clem. Though, Dark bringing him to the brink. I think that very well could have gone either way. There was a moment in there where if Clem doesn't handle the attack in his main as efficiently as he did, then Dark can easily run with that all the way to the finish line. But Clem holds. And now Clem's up 2-0, and we're looking in prime position to repeat history. And by history, I mean like the last few weeks, which Clem has beaten Dark like 3-0 or 3-1. No matter what server we're on. What a game. You know what? Unironically, game of the year for me so far. That was just constant action. Swinging at each other. Game of the year doesn't mean the bestest game. I can't tell the future. I know there will always be more good games. But that checks all the boxes for me. We saw all sorts of early to late game, the action all over the place. A clear moment where pretty much either player... Is this tilted? That base looks weird to me. I'm sorry, I look at this base and it's because he put the pool over to the side that it's skewing my perspective, but... Well, imagine now queuing up again after that. Well, these two probably have played the most tournament matches of anyone in the last year or so. Dark played the most, but Clem not too far behind, especially now that he's playing at all the same tournaments, including like North American and Korean ones. So Clem may very well top Dark for the amount of tournament matches this year. We'll see. It's in the thousands. Honestly, I should be paying him royalties for existing at this point, because what percentage of my... You know what? Don't look it up. It's not important. All that's important is good games for the fans that'll make you like and subscribe. And yeah, can we get 2,000 likes on this one? That game deserved it. Okay, and hopefully my commentary was a fraction of as good as the game was. I like that a lot. But we're on Dynasty, which most Zerg players do not like a lot, because Terrans can get a gold base while you, good luck. And we'll see if Dark does anything about it. Dark just takes his third. But that area is kind of a liability compared to, well, Terrans have range here. They have siege tanks, most importantly. the anti-bunker / cannon rush rocks taken down. Those who don't know, the little rocks on the bottom of the ramp are because early in Wings of Liberty, a normal strategy was to wall that off with either 2 bunkers or 3 pylons and make it almost impossible for a Zerg player and the other races, but mostly Zerg, getting bullied. He got the creep tumor, but he got killed. Okay, so I still think that's probably worth it, but... So, now, with those little destructible rocks, and the reason most players will take them down is so they don't misclick them later. Or if they want to build anything there. There's no reason to have it in the way, but it's not usually a huge deal either way. but it's mostly just those ridiculous, especially back in Wings of Brenda, no touching! Oh my, tapping her on the back. I gotta calm down. Alright, we're just getting started in game number 3. Cloak Banshee on the way. Queen still scratching the paint on those Hellions, trying to maybe poke a tire or something. There will be Spore Crawlers this time around. We're not going to have a repeat of game 1 with the Banshee doing critical damage. But Dark, how many lings does he actually have? He has a few at the natural, kind of in reserve, in case Clem commits. Those Hellions in autumn colors right now. So, a bit of a dicey proposition. He's poking, he's prodding, he's going for the drones. Actually, he sacrifices 2 in order to try to prevent the line from coming together. Banshee heads for the natural, and the Spore was anticipating a Liberator, but the delayed Cloak Banshee again finds the damage. Clem going for the aggressive openers. I think it's working out. I mean, obviously it's working out, but he's preventing Dark from taking the initiative. You saw what happened last game when Dark finally had an opportunity to strike back. Clem barely held it together. So I see this as Clem trying to make sure Dark never has that option. Like, doing whatever he can, essentially buying time until the medevacs come out. So that way Dark can't be doing any sort of shenanigans on his side of the map. Those Banshees. Continually chased down by the Queens, which will never catch them if Clem micros, but you have to. Like, it's all about the... Susan, come back here! But it's right over there. That's not... Just come back. I don't... It's fine. Queen's obviously not happy about it, but that is their lot in life. The last and first line of defense in many scenarios. And economy. And utility. And support. You know. Effectively everything. Dark expanding to the outside. Clem repairing those Hellions. Looks like he's gonna put together a medevac Hellbat push. How many drones? Now we gotta take stock of the situation before we get into this. We have upgrades on the way. About even for both sides. Dark a little bit later on the Carapace upgrade, but going to have melee attack alongside Clem's 1-1 timing. But the Marines are already here. The Banelings will complete. There's only 1 siege tank. So, that siege tank could make or break this. That's a lot of Queens. That's so many of them. Trying to buy time for as many upgrades as possible. Combat shield about to complete. Neither player slipping on their macro behind. Well, I say that, and then Dark has 1,200 minerals, but I think he's waiting somewhat for the Hydras. Doesn't want to engage anywhere off a creep. Do not give Clem the opportunity, but if you wait too long... Well, if you wait too long, the reinforcements will arrive. Is it better to have Baneling speed and be facing twice the units? Or try to crush this first? It seems like Dark is content to wait for Bane speed. He's already expanded to the south. The battle continues. And 3, 2, 1. Well, if he's gonna go, there's no way he's coming in from just one side. Really? Pulls back. That siege tank. And there's another siege tank on the back line. I'm really surprised Dark not splitting off any forces to try to swing around to the north side. The Queen's holding the line. But starting to draw low on energy. Oh, no. Another Queen taken down. The tension. The tension. The Hydras, the Lings, the Banes, both players close to maxing out. This battle continues. Will they, won't they? The Queen's taking the majority of the hits, but they can take a pounding, if you know what I mean. The transfuses are running out as the Frenchman continues to show his experience at killing Queens. Oh my, the reinforcements on the back. Another wave coming in. Hydras, Lings, and Banes on top. There's only 2 siege tanks. The reinforcements are a little late on coming forward. Banelings rolling in. Take out the first wave. Another siege tank at the back. Clem drives back the main force. Where did the medevacs go? Where are the medevacs? Hello? No medevacs actually makes this a lot more plausible here. Drawing in Widowmine shots. The Banelings taken down before they can do much more. Is Drilling Claws. Drilling Claws is done. 2 Banshees. Oh, the Banshees from earlier. And Clem has so much economy behind. Another Widowmine. Clem moving forward. Dark holding for now, and he has another base. Infestation Pit just started. +2 weapons about to complete for Clem. Dragging the Widowmines into the Terrans. And Dark uses the Widowmines to obliterate a couple dozen Marines. Fall on your own grenade, he says. More like cloaked missile platform. Either way, let's not get pedantic. Now is not the time. Now is the time for blood. Blood and thunder. That Dark. Oh my god. Why did the Banshees get to fly, Brenda? Shut up, Susan. You know we can't fly since the war. I know. Banshees still working on the 4th, but the Hydras are able to poke down the Marines. And the Queen, knock it. Get off my Queen! Brenda, wow. I did. And Dark finds the space. He holds the base. He knocks out the Marine push. He stops the Banshees, and he's got a hive on the way. And Clem just started his +3 attack. He's abandoned the siege tanks for the Widowmines, which so far have been almost as good for Dark as they've been for Clem. But all it takes is one good hit. For either side, really. He's not even attacking with the Zerglings, he's just trying to drag the mines. And he almost kills the medevacs with them. The field runs red with the blood of both sides. Another brutal exchange. 8 mines and 7 Marines, and then 44 Zerglings. Clem zoning out, but the Hydra count is so damn high, and another group of Zerglings to the south. On top of the base. The medevacs, what is even in there? The Widowmines, I don't know if now is the time to burrow them. Meanwhile, oh, the medevacs. They boost away. Target fire on the Banes. And again, Clem driven back. Dark maintaining. Unlike last game, Dark has the production and he has the economy for 200 supply. He was really working on a minimal budget in the last game, but now he's firing on all cylinders. He's got all the bases he needs. He's got the creep spread halfway across. Clem is working on 3-3, but he doesn't have that composition yet. I don't think there are any ghosts on the field. Lurkers could be added in. I don't, Dark not doing it yet, but here comes the Hydraling Bane. Drawn in the Widowmine hits. Another big one. Baneling's coming down. The rest of the army's coming back. This is too many Hydras for the reinforcements to deal with. Clem is forced to retreat off the field. He loses an orbital command. The Zerglings taking out more. Banelings into the natural. He doesn't have cracklings yet with the adrenal glands, but he's working on it. Good splits against the mines. Crashing into more. 11 SCVs dead. Burrows a couple lings. I don't even know if Clem noticed. Another Widowmine. He retargets onto the Banes. Clem trying to take every opportunity. But so far, Dark holding with him. And actually, maybe slightly ahead this time. +3 weapons is about to complete. This is the next moment for Clem to get the damage done, especially before adrenal glands are there. The Zerglings coming around again. Looking to close in. The Lurkers ready to slice. Targets down 2 before he's able to pick up and get out. Are there any Vipers on the field? No, but 100 Zerglings. Chasing it down and back into the natural. Clem, a lot of his army is committed over to the right side. And now at the bottom of the ramp, the Zerg are waiting. Widowmines used against him. Zerglings on the Planetary. I don't know if that's intentional, but he's going to re-angle towards it. that Clem is sprinting back home, but the planetary will be dead by the time it arrives. Let's see that baneling mine, Dark. Not quite. The pre-scan. He wants to go for the fight. Clem has 30 army supply advantage, sniping out the lurkers. He has the army, but Dark is buying himself so much space here. He's rebuilding another round. He's already knocked out 2 bases, effectively. A whole bunch of SCVs. Another army could lay down a killing blow. And Zerglings all over the new command center. There's still a lurker. There doesn't seem to be any scans. Ricky, the accidental swarm host, has joined production. The SCVs have mined through the mineral wall. It's a disaster for the Frenchmen. And Zerglings are inside his main. The natural's gutted. The gold base is gone. And there's one outlying base left. He still has an army supply advantage, but he has no control over the map. GG, the final boss, strikes back. What a game. Feels like he learned from his mistakes. Well, not really even mistakes, but he adapted slightly. Dark really just sandbagging with the queens, buying as much time as possible. The answer to whether he's waiting for baneling speed was he's waiting as long as he can. Every second counts. And it made the difference as Dark was able to drag the game across the map. And Clem was spread too thin. He's on the board. It won't be a clean sweep this time. Both players playing so incredibly well. Clem leaning into the mines again. Not sure what caused him to focus on the mines more than the siege tanks, which have become much more popular lately, especially against Hydroling Bane. As Widow Mines, well, Dark clearly thanking him in many ways for those mines. As the Widow Mines doing the critical damage and breaking the army and driving him back. Obviously, Widow Mines are cheap and oftentimes very effective, but Dark is making them look like a great Zerg unit so far. What a series. After that, game 1. Well, Dark clearly warmed up. Like that's almost a throwaway. I don't blame Dark for leaving so early because in that sort of scenario, it's just like ladder games. Like, okay, it's over. Just move on. I'm not playing this out from here. It's horrible. And that strategy seemed to work. You don't want to get yourself... would you rather fight for 3-4 minutes and lose anyways, or just get into the next game? And Dark's choice was just get into the next game. And, well, he didn't win that one, but now he's clearly warmed up. He's respecting Clem. Like, I feel you have to just ratchet it up another 1 or 2 notches to face Clem. Like, you have to be ready. And if you're not keeping up, like, literally every single unit is going to be a threat. And some of the most threatening early game units are already on the field as Clem's Reapers. And it's just 2 wrecks. So Dark can't know that for sure. 3rd command center this time around. Gonna use the Reapers to try to maintain some map control, but Dark is counterattacking. He sees what's at the natural. He's gonna try to go through the reactor. It might work. There's nothing at home. Dark! The best defense is a good offense. The Reapers are on the wrong side of the map. And this map, Clem is on the wrong side in general. The Zerglings are in the base! You can't have that! The Reapers are coming back home. But the Zerglings are already killing SCVs, and Dark does need to get a lot of SCVs here in order to justify it. His economy is not great. His summary. He's hold position. Stand right there. Stand right there, Charles. Charles, the hold position, Zergling. But he's trapped the Reapers. There's nowhere to go. Well, I guess you could just kill all the Zerglings. GG! Dark ties it up. And now bookending this series. Dark with a similar style to that game one. Just kill him. Just kill him. Just walk across and kill him. Well. But he did it even faster than Clem did in game one. And that brings us to Amphion for game 5. Are you kidding me? Amphion, the most dramatic map. It seems to be such a game 5 map. We see it so often at the end of the series. Which, we don't always get there, but... what a series. We've had the shortest games and the most dramatic late games. But now it ends. Assuming it's not a draw, which I'm not ruling out. But... it'll still end on Amphion. We'll just replay it on the same map. But... I digress. Dark has truly embraced. He beat him in the first phase, but Dark enraged. And that's why he's the final boss. He just seems to level up to his opponent. He's not perfect. He's not Cyril. But he's got that killer instinct, and he just turns... And if that's entirely... If Clem was on the other side, if he just spawned on the other side of the map, one of the few situations that it really matters. If Clem spawns on the other side of the map, the add-ons are on the inside. So it's very unlikely Dark is going to attempt to break through, well, succeed at breaking through the natural wall. But because he had an overload up there, I mean, he had to anticipate the Reaper timing for it, but that is specific to being in that position on that map and finding that exact timing. It doesn't work if he's on the other side. It doesn't work if Clem scouts it. But neither of those things came to pass. And now, all tied up. Clem blocking the third and looking to almost stops it from dodging. Meanwhile, the drone trying to body block. Almost kills the SCV outright. You really gonna stick around like that? Oh my god. He dodges into the other one. Like, literally the SCV. Every single unit dangerous from Clem. Sir, this is a message from the Hatchery Owners Association. This is private property. Hey, that's very rude. Very rude. Churlish, insubordinate. And we sentence you to death. And also, even worse, expulsion. Yeah, and don't come back. Zergling speed about to complete. I'm sure Clem knows the timing. Like 330 to 340 is usually the vast majority of Zergling speed time. Still sticking around because he trusts himself so much that the Reaper gets put down. And the Hellions will retreat for now, but I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in. Oh my god. Oh, he knows there are Zerglings up there, so he's not... I don't think he's just going to go for it, but we will see. So tense. You can feel like... God, it's so hard to deal with Clem. Even when Dark's winning, like, it's because he's out multitasking him, which is incredibly impressive. Considering how much Clem gets out of his unit. His units should cost like twice as much. Okay, he's got like campaign units when everybody else is just playing with normie units. That's how it feels. I played against Clem in Battle Aces, and he completely crushed me with the same units. Like, because he's just individually microing things that are barely microable. Because, of course, he is. That game is designed for Clem. Okay. It's like, would you like to just micro the entire time with incredibly microable units? Oh, you would. Well, here we are again. A Liberator getting driven out by the Queens. More Queens called in to defend the 4th base. Evolution Chamber's on the way. This is peak Terran versus Zerg. I don't think I've seen 2 players so clearly matched. And what I really like is how they are so different as well. Like, Darks paints with broad strokes. He throws things everywhere and sees what sticks. A more impressionist style. Whereas Clem is... It's like watching an AI play sometimes. It's like, how do you perfectly micro these units? It's like, no, you're wrong. You can do it better. I do think that is Clem's greatest weakness, is one, his predictability in how he's going to focus on multitasking and micro, leaving him open to risky plays. The ones that Dark has a tendency to do, like last game, when he commits all those Zerglings, or the game before on Dynasty, when he went for half his army, Hydraling Bane, committed to an attack. If Clem was back at home in position, I'm sure he was scouting, but if Clem has his army better distributed, like if he has enough to defend, he could just lose all of that supply and be way behind. But he commits the army in the probably slightly better than even chance it works out. And well, he has a tendency to hedge his bets quite well. Oh my god, that's disgusting. He's gonna use it. Oh my god. I hate it. It's beautiful. He's stuck behind the mineral. You gotta take that mineral wall down, bro. Oh my. Clem. Using the mineral wall against the Queens again. But you can't know. Like, what are you gonna do? Here come the Queens. He's just gonna fight. Target fire on the Banes of the backline, but the Zerglings, the Queens, get off my Queen! Ling Bane. 1-1 is done for both sides. Clem, does he have an armory? He does not. He hasn't even started one. So he's pretty all in on this at the moment. I mean, he's building a 4th command center, not that all in. And Dark doesn't have a ton of drones either. Another medevac. Big counterattack of Zergling. Not even gonna bother trying to sweep around, but instead, just go for the 3rd. Goes for the 4th command center, which is out on the field. The hatchery going to be defended by the Queens. 10 SCVs dead. Dark just commits with all of these Zerglings while desperately trying to defend at home. But he's gonna give up the base. He's already expanded to the north and over to the west side. He's got 2 more hatcheries, one of which is already completed. So Dark, he's down 20 supply though, as killing 12 SCVs but losing 100 Zerglings. Almost. Doesn't quite even out. The Hydras are out now. There's some Zerglings maybe ready for a counterattack. It's not like it's an island over here. But he slurps everything back. As Clem, he knows about the base on the top right. And Dark has no vision. Bane, no. Well. And this attack is just, no. Completely in the himself about it is Dark. Clem takes down another hatch. Objective complete. Some Zerglings, but the Chutoi Depot serving its purpose. Infestation put out of the way, but Dark. Clem's still only on 3 base. He didn't get that 4th command center done. That's the only real saving grace here, because Clem is nearly maxed out. Oh, and the 2-2 is so late. He forgot his armory. That's a huge deal here. Usually you'd be relying on an upgrade advantage to take better fights and eventually whittle down the Zerg. But he doesn't have that advantage. So that means Dark has a real shot of at least taking a trade. That's a lot of Terran. He literally can't build any more Terran right now. The Hellbat's back at home to defend. 2-2's done, and he jumps the tanks, does what he can with the Hydraling Bane. Gonna back off as soon as the front line is cleared up and try another round. The Hydra count is damn high. He's got 18 Hydras right now. It's just Marines out of Clem. There aren't enough Banelings. There's only one Baneling. That's not enough Bane. It's dead. And now the siege tanks on the low ground, looking to take it all down. The stims, though. The medevac's nearly out of energy. Hydra's splitting, and the stim Marines not quite enough, and the upgrade's really showing there. That +2 Carapace, I think, making all the difference as Clem bites off just a little more than he can chew. But he's refilled. The Hellbats are coming up. Gonna get picked down. The Queens with the fight here. Another Queen eats a Widowmine hit, eats another one. Oh, the brave sacrifice of the Queens. So the rest of the army might survive. And Clem actually down 15 supply. And Dark maintains all of his hatcheries. Clem, I feel like that's not really gauging the situation. That's the upgrades. He didn't... he overestimated the capability almost all the time. The Terrans are even or slightly ahead on upgrades. That is remarkably consistent and has been throughout this series. But for the first time, Dark has the advantage, and Clem clearly not respecting it. There's a hive on the way. Clem has an opportunity to retake that advantage because he can start his 3-3 immediately. Dark at 77 drones. Clem, 67 SCVs. That's more than a 5. Oh, there goes the medevac. He still manages to target down some Banes. Clem not focused on those upgrades yet. He's got a Ghost Academy on the way. Plenty of production. Widowmine drop. Oh. I think that if you're Dark, you're not unhappy to see that. I mean, nobody's happy to see Widowmine drop, but it's clear Clem is backing off the major attacks. He didn't start his lurker yet. Oh, no. It's clear he didn't start. He's backing off major attacks in favor of just trying to keep things at bay. So that gives Dark a little bit of time to pull everything together. And we're going to have a good old-fashioned brawl in the late game here. Are there any Vipers? No. 112 Zerglings. Adrenal Glands just now started. A bit late on that one. Coming through the rocks. Is there any vision of this? I think there's a Widowmine over there, but he doesn't quite see the rocks. As both sides building up. Ghosts on the way. One mine. He sees the army, though, in the center of the map. I don't know if Clem really realizes. Ooh, that Widowmine. I don't think it fired before it came through. But back at home. Clem. Mm-hmm. What a battle. Dark does have the Lurker Den done, though he just now starting the upgrades. You can really feel it now. With both players one bad fight away from this entire... It really hasn't been that long of a series. But it's been one of the most stressful, evenly matched, tense ones. You don't want to be on the losing end here. Clem, he had a 2-0 advantage, and he squandered it. Dark, on the cusp of striking all the way back, and getting some revenge for those series he lost recently. It's gonna come down to the supreme late game. Lurkers against Ghosts against Liberators. Maxed out upgrades or something close to it. Plenty of Overseers in order to make sure those Ghosts and Widowmines don't continue to be the most annoying, untouchable cloak thorns in the side. +2 vehicle weapon, he just decided it's not happening. Another attack, try to break through, delays the command centers. These medevacs in a bit of an awkward position. I think a bit of a Selecto army hockey, actually. Ooh, Clem ends up losing both with all 3 Marines that were left over. But the mass command center. Nidus on the way. Dark's chosen late game option. Stabbing the lurkers into the production. And hoping, well, for the best. Not really hoping, but trying to force the issue. Does not... If Clem is given any amount of time to set up a fight, he's almost certainly going to win it. Dark's advantage comes in hitting him so hard and so fast, he's left reeling and unable to get it done. Operation Overlord is on the way. Dark intending on dropping a beachhead of lurkers on the Frenchman's beaches and seeing if he can drive them out. He's got Mass Lurker with Nidus behind. Dark putting all of his most dangerous eggs in this remarkably quick and tentacled basket. And a Nidus into the main. Trying to keep him busy. But here we go. Oh no, that Whittle Mine. Big hit to start. There's nothing to deal with that tank on the high ground, which is getting massive hits, but here comes the Nidus! It was a decoy for the lurkers! Banelings rolling in! The planetary fortress will be taken down, but the lurkers have made the beachhead. They're breaking through the... They're breaking into the buildings. The ghost looking for an opportunity. There is an overseer in range. He has enough ghosts. He's gunning down the lurkers. And Dark looks like he'll be driven back. His attempt, a costly one. But it's not going to be successful. And so many losses. Ooh. Actually eating some extra lurker hits there at the end as he gets a bit overconfident, but 7 orbital commands for Clem. Dark has all the bases on his side, including that one in the center. Another wave is loaded up. 4 sets of Zerglings. The sensor tower was taken down, so there is no warning of this. A Nidus in minimum distance of that siege tank. The lurkers are burrowing. Clem trying to retake this bottom right corner, but Dark not gonna have it. The Overlord's into the main. And now a Nidus over on the right flank. Clem. There's a Nidus on top of the siege tank. It hasn't been taken down. Dark's in the main. Dark's in the bottom right corner. And Dark now down the center. He's going for the Ghost Academy. Another Nidus. The lurker's moving forward. Clem stretched to the limit here. Will he bend or will he break? Another tank taken down. Another Nidus at the main. The main base has been mostly cleared out. There's actually no vision of this. The Zerglings on the orbital. The army supply is still very high for Clem. He loses 11 SCVs, but he still has a ton of ghosts. 15 ghosts. Liberators holding. Zerglings in the third. Lings and Banes coming through. Dark is supply blocked. He's lost too many overseers. Banelings, try to close the distance on the ghosts, but he cloaks. And he should be able to retreat. He's not going to lose too many of them. Dark down to 140 supply. Zerglings dropping into the natural. This is costing Dark so much. He was supply blocked. He couldn't build any units. He doesn't have enough larvae. Clem has held the main. A tenuous hold. He's held the middle of the map. And now he's got a planetary fortress over in the bottom right. The Frenchman holds the line. And he drives the Zerg back. An armory is burning. Dark is desperately putting together those late game units he needs. He's got Infestors and Vipers and Hydras on the way. He's got +3 melee done. He's got +3 Carapace done. He's working out +3 ranged attack, but Clem is already maxed out on upgrades and supply. And now it's Clem's turn to strike back. If Dark would just give him a goddamn second. But he won't. The lurkers in the main, dropping Zerglings on top of tanks. He buys time, potentially, for the Nidus to finish. This drags a few more units back. Another Nidus pops out. He knocks it down again. But Banelings and a lurker at the edge of the mineral wall, preventing him from coming here easily. Clem hasn't been able to strike back at Dark for quite a while. Oh, and the Nidus over the top of the mineral wall with the lurker. Does he see it? I think he saw it, but he's not dealing with it. The drop in the top right corner. Zergling scrambling to defend. There are more burrowed lings in the main base as well. And here comes Dark with the vast majority of the Zerg army, looking to overrun. But Clem has way too much Terran and is able to beat it back immediately. The Zerglings come through. He's back into the base, taking down supply depots. The NG bays are almost defunct at this point, though he hasn't gotten the building armor or high-sec auto-tracking upgrade, which is a bit of a mistake. He has money in the bank. He can deal with that. Meanwhile, more Lings and Banes on the way. They're both maxed out. What a game! Dark still laying on the pressure, but Clem seems to be building up more and more momentum for a decisive counter attack. So decisive. We went through a time warp there for a moment. But Lings and Banes on the planetary, which is unprotected. The Banelings just... What? Hello? Anyone? Hello? Banelings... Ah, he just clicks on the orbital, and he gets it. Clem not anticipating that. A ghost gets away. There are still 6 orbitals. Another Ghost Academy taken down. That was his only Ghost Academy. So... 6 more Dropper Lords on the way. Dark with another wave. Incredible fungal, parasitic mob, wombo combo. That ain't Falco as Clem. He loses so much HP on those medevacs. Between the parasitic bomb and the fungal combo, and the overlords are loaded up again. Clem can't seem to break out of his bases, but so far he's broken every major attack that's come up against him. Meanwhile, Zerglings dropping in. More Zerglings over to the bottom right corner. Lings overrunning the main. Lings overrunning the bottom right. And he's holding the center. Onitis. Clem running out of production again. He's down to 4 barracks, which is not enough. He has to rebuild his Ghost Academy. He drops a mule to repair his orbital. Another Ghost Academy, just targeting the refineries here. Banelings will burrow near the mineral line. Clem still has 187 supply. But Dark is starting to make some real progress as Clem is... The kid is getting tired out. Dark may be almost 10 years older, but he's got a kid at home. So he knows what exhaustion is all about. That's the stereotypical joke, right? And Dark is no stranger to series of this magnitude, of this length. And I think, like, Clem is... He's ahead 10 supply, but somehow it feels like Dark has 300. The Banelings are burrowed. Dark is not letting up. Over and over and over again. Dark comes in with the Hydras, the Lings, the Banes. He's lost 700 Zerglings, 20 Lurkers, but only 11 Hydras, which is remarkable. Zerglings get in. They kill a starport. He does such a great job of keeping the Hydras alive. He's prioritizing those units. The Banelings must have unburrowed. I think they killed 7 SCVs. Clem still? Well, he still has 7 orbital commands, which means he doesn't have to worry too much about the SCV count. My God. It still could go either way. Clem has the army. Dark is 1 bad fight away from Clem getting that critical mass. But he's on the planetary. He's forced to retreat. Dark is starting to really whittle down Clem's economy. Oh, another Baneling! I think that was a Baneling mine as well, but the ghost count is so damn high. 70 more Zerglings in production. Clem knocks out a base on the right side, that center line base. And the Hydra's on top of the ghost. He lines up a firing squad, interrupts a lot of the snipes. Clem down to 140 supply. The Hydra's finally carved out by the ghost. More Zerglings down, but another orbital was taken out. The drops at the top right. Ghosts alongside the army. He's gonna beat every single one of those Zerglings easily. And continues forward. The Queen dodging back. 11 SCVs dead. The Marines are picked up. And those Marines dragged most of Dark's army back. But Clem, what's left? He still has 6 orbital commands, but he's running out of mineral patches. The Zerglings, 12 Lurkers. Dark is looking for a finishing blow. That 12 Lurkers is a big commitment at this stage. That's the vast majority of the gas he has left in the bank. But he's also running low. Oh no. In the darkness of his main base, Clem Can't see the Nidus. Hydras and Lings, whatever he has left here. The Nidus in the main. He loads it up with the lurkers. There's a bit of defense. The Liberator is actually helping out a lot. He has escaped. I don't know about this one. More lurkers. The Liberator helping out so much there. But again, Clem, he keeps having to come back. Every time he tries to take a step forward, he has to scramble back to his main. And again, on the tanks, being taken down. The Orbital does a quick push-up. Zerglings, again, scattered across the field. 1,000 Zerglings dead. And dozens more in production. But Clem, desperate to hold on. Banelings trickling through, takes it down. The Orbital, he never got building armor. But Clem holds. Ghost lining up the shots, knock out the lurker. Nidus will be taken down, but Dark angles again for the center. He's got it. That's it. Dark takes it back all the way. 3 games in a row. 26 minutes. With 1,059 Zerglings. He lost almost like 50% more resources. He overruns Clem. Overwhelming. Arguably the best Terran in the world. You might be like, well, what about Maru? Well, Dark beat Maru as well, so that is Dark at full final boss mode. And I'm not going to be apologetic. You made it this far. You were probably clickbaited in, because this, sure, Cyril versus Clem is amazing. Cyril versus Oliveira at the last I Am Katowice, I want to say, was great. Or was it DreamHack? Either way. No, that's it. That's it. The best StarCraft 2 series I have ever seen to this day. It wasn't perfect, but it was incredible. And if you don't agree, well, you made it this far, so what were you doing? Were you asleep? How did you sleep through that? How dare you? Thank you for watching. Thank you to the Korean StarCraft 2 League. Make sure to check them out. The Patreon in the description. Jimmy doesn't screw it up. If you got the means of motivation, you can check out mine as well. YouTube membership, all that. Second channel, who cares? But thank you for watching. I hear liking and subscribing. It's still free for now. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it made your day a little bit better. It better have. But good luck. Have fun. I'll see you next time. Stay chill.